What's up, everyone? I'm back. My name's Sai, and I'm here with Leo today when we're going to be doing the post-event UFC 287 Pereira versus Adesanya fan cam. So we're going to get into it from the card, basically talk about some of the most exciting fights and what's just happened, basically, and just get some of Leo's opinions on it. But nice to meet you, Leo. It's great. Thanks for jumping on the channel. Your first time, your debut here on ATF, which is decent.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for having me, yeah.
Nah, it's good. It's good to have you, man. Thanks for being here. Quick one on opinions, right? So this card, for me, was quite exciting coming into it. We had the debut, not debut, I guess you could say main card debut of Raul Rosas Jr. on the first card. And he has a lot of hype coming into UFC, potential to be next Paddy or McGregor sort of type. I guess after today, it's a bit recalibrated. Yeah. And then, of course, we had that firefight in Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. And then, of course, the return of Jorge Masvidal. He's always in bangers. And then, of course, the story continued with Pereira and Adesanya. So lots on this card, lots to be excited about. What was you most excited about coming into it? And then then we can go from there.
For me, the Burns, the co-main was like my real main event a little bit. I was always looking forward to that, mainly because I just wanted to see. I think Burns' stand-up just is like really underappreciated, and I'm glad he got to show that off a little bit. You know, the commentators were talking about, you know, DC and Joe and John. They were talking about how you know, Burns, you know, he's got to be shooting for that takedown, but he was winning the striking exchanges, and I don't know if you say that's down to Adesanya, Masvidal's age, but
he's showing,
he looked a bit
wasn't it?
Slower. He looked a bit slower.
Yeah.
Especially after, you know, when he finally stood up at the end of that second round, he just looked so
labored in the striking.
Yeah. And I mean, even coming in though, his physique was a bit off. There was people talking about that when he had that photo shoot.
Yeah.
He looked a little rough there. So I thought the odds were quite, you know, actually quite skewed because he definitely had a chance to knock him out. And considering Burns' chin is, you know, it's been tested before. Yeah. But I did have Burns winning that, and he did better than I thought he would do, to be honest. It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know, he went in there, showed off the other aspects to his game. And something I was saying to the guys here on the couch was, you know, I think a lot of people count Burns as just a boring grappler, you know, and it's exciting to see him show off the hands when he can. And as many times I saw him throw the same combination that Kamaru Usman did when he actually punched through Jorge Masvidal as well. You know, sort of the right hand came, and so did the right, his whole stance switch, and he sort of like punched through.
And comes over the top.
Exactly. Very powerful over the top right. And I mean, Jorge was able to avoid it this time, but, you know, it still showed the level of Gilbert Burns striking. Is it fair to say he's getting better?
Yeah. Burns? Yeah, absolutely.
Burns?
I don't know if it's enough for Leon just because of the reach. And, you know, Leon's really hitting his stride now. But I'd like to see him challenge for the belt. Yeah. That or him versus Colby would be great. I'd rather have that matchup. That would be a great one. Well, I think as good as his jiu-jitsu is, I don't think we didn't really get a lot of submissions tonight in general, unless my memory's wrong, which I wish we saw more of. And I think, you know, grappling is, you know, I'm a big fan of jiu-jitsu in itself, and that was a big part of obviously Rosas Jr.'s fight. He burned himself out, completely in that first round. With that stand, he went for the standing rear naked, and that's, you know, if you train and you really try and sit on a choke for ages, your arms just build up like the lactic acid, and you just.
That was one of the biggest upsets of the night, absolutely, that Raul Rosas Jr. one. But that was because, you know, Christian Rodriguez was kind of counted out, but he did hold his own in both the stand-up and on the ground too. So, he had the right tools for the job there. But next question for you then is your fight of the night. So, with everything in taken in consideration, what was your fight of the night?
It's got to be the main event. Honestly, that first round. You know, I'm not going to sit and say I've been watching MMA for forever. I've only been watching it for like 4 or 5 years now. But, that first round was honestly the most high-level striking just matchup I've ever seen. And in that 5 minutes, just so technical. I think the only thing I put close was Holloway Volk 3. Yeah. That was elite. But it was just personally, little chess match.
It really was. It was. You could see a lot of things were going on. I don't necessarily think in terms of physically in the output, and it was it's so much tentativeness. But chess match is exactly the word. They were trying to figure each other out. They was both aware of each other's power. And something I said going into this was exactly the same thing. He needs to remember that he nearly had Alex Pereira out there in the first round, the last fight. You know, he was saved by the belt. You know, this time he's just got to connect and do it flush, and so he did, and so well as well. But look, we're talking about the main event now, and I guess a lot of people were saying Izzy was a favorite, absolutely, but a lot of people were saying that Alex Pereira's power was gonna stop him once again. So I guess my question for you at this point is, do you think that, Izzy took the right lessons from the last time he fought? Was he doing certain things better or doing things a little bit less?
Judging by your expression, I feel like you're on. You might be on the same page as me. I don't know, because he wasn't checking a lot of those calf kicks.
Yes.
Switching stances back and forth. That was especially right before the finish. Actually, his legs started to buckle a little bit.
Yeah.
And he talked in the post fight about luring him in, sitting back. I don't know. I feel like maybe there was a little bit of that, but he was getting caught. Pereira ripped those shots to the body right before as he came over the top. He was hurt there.
Yeah.
And especially his leg was really just going there, just right before that finish. So I think definitely something to improve on. Even though that and that was a problem in the first fight, and I think that's in a way that's a bit of a worry. The fact that those holes were still there.
Yeah.
I think Pereira getting complacent. I mean, either of those guys can't get complacent because of how technically good they are.
Yes.
It's I think that matchup, you could do it a million times and it's going to go either way every time. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, so what I was saying to the boys was like they're fighting now for what was that, the fourth time? That was the fourth time that they fought. And I can't comfortably say that Alex wins 5 times out of 5. He might have won 3 out of 3, but 4 times I think out of 5 that's the most he's going to win. Maybe.
And I don't think you could say he would win again. I don't think you could say Izzy would win the next one. It was so close. I don't think you can really call it. It was great match. I think it
really was a good matchup and exciting. And I guess, what do you think is right for Alex Pereira next? The guys in us on the channel were talking about rematch possibility, but also we talked about let's see him step into another division and then come back for a second belt, and that will be quite sexy. But what's your thoughts? Does he do it straight away, or does he do it with some clout later?
I think that's the realistic pick, isn't it? Right, to do the rematch. I think I think that would be in Dana and Hunter Campbell and all that. I think that's in their interest, right?
Yeah. But when
I'd like the 205. I'd like him versus Jury. Any of those guys. Jamal, I think he beats Jamal Hill pretty soundly.
Yeah,
look at the size difference. He was so much bigger than Izzy. It was crazy.
Yeah,
he's I don't know how. 185.
This is it.
I like to see him a light heavyweight for sure.
If Izzy can knock him out,
maybe against a wrestler,
so can Jamal Hill, right?
But I think it's such I don't know. That is a close match. Maybe him against a wrestler. That's why I like to. We haven't seen that yet. If he can prove that his takedown defense is good, we haven't seen that.
That's Lambia.
If his takedown defense is good, then I think he's set in either of those divisions for a long time. He's going to be hovering at the top if he can. It's the same reason Izzy's so successful. His ground game is, compared to some of the guys in there, it's not that great. But then you look at his takedown defense, none of them get him down, and that's partly because of the leg kicks and the threat of the counter. But and that's what makes him so good.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of Pereira can tie that up together in the same way, because I think Izzy is a better complete mixed martial artist.
Absolutely.
Pereira obviously has the power, and that's why he got the finish last time.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you any more than that. 100%. And also, I think if you're looking at that next matchup in a weight class above for Alex Pereira, Jan Blachowicz, that makes sense. I mean, he's quite a wrestling heavy and former champion too, and former champion versus former champion is just quite a good narrative. But
I'd love that.
No doubt that Alex Pereira is still Izzy Adesanya's bogeyman, despite him beating him once. Until
he's a scary motherfucker.
He is. Until Pereira starts beating him more than Adesanya beats him more than 3 times. I think he's still going to be that sort of the guy who did it. But
for sure.
So we'll all love to see that come back a third time. For us, it's really a question of when can we really do it at the best possible time. But a lot of the division that we're talking about here in the middleweight has been Izzy's met them all. He's put them all in their place. They're where they are because of him. No, sorry. Go ahead. On to you.
It's quite honestly, if you compare it to a lot of the other divisions, like something like bantamweight, like welterweight as well, it's very shallow. More so because of the fact of how good Izzy's been, and he's just taken out all those guys. I don't see anyone really in the middleweight division giving too much. You look at guys like sort of taking up the top 10, like Dricus Duplessis, like that guy gets this. Like, let's be honest, in my opinion, he just gets flattened.
I mean, I think
Derek Brunson can take him to the brink with that.
I think he's as high as he can go. I think he is as high as he can go in the division. But no, I think we got to see some fresh meat for Izzy.
Whittaker would be a great matchup actually against Pereira. I mean, or Izzy, to be honest. I love that third fight as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we can run that back.
Speaking of actually, sorry, at the middleweight, Kelvin looked excellent as well.
He did.
Gastelum, he looked brilliant.
Really
that was forget what I said. That was my fight of the night. Almost
that was good. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't on the main card, but it headlined the
whole card. Absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, it was so good, wasn't it? Technically proficient, and also I think that was a definite scenario of y'all must have forgot, and I'm one of those who forgot.
Oh, for sure.
I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot that. Yeah, I looked at the streak. He's on a losing streak. He didn't perform as excitingly as I wanted him to in the last bouts. He frustrated me a little bit because I was like, "Come on, Gaston, you're better than this." And I had that hope from him in the last bouts, but he was against dogs, like absolute people up there, top bench from the division.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his record, like the losses he had. I mean, I remember it was quite a while ago now. He lost to I think he got knee barred or something by Hermansson or something. It was a heel hook or something.
Yeah.
And that was like the start of that sort of tick down after the interim fight. And then the Darren Till, he just got, pretty clearly outpointed on that one.
Yeah,
there's a couple more in there.
Cannonier, Whitaker
as well.
Whitaker, yeah.
But he looked really sharp, like a lot lighter on the feet. He's such quite a big guy. He looked sharp. And Chris Curtis he's honestly one of the best strikers in the division. He really is. And Gastelum took it to him.
And
he is. Fair play.
He had more tools as well. Fine. And Chris Curtis has just got his hands. Now he's a through and through boxer, isn't he? Yeah. But yeah, man, that's that. And I guess one question I did want to ask you real quickly on that main event before moving on. It's what does excite you for Izzy? You said it was Whitaker, or is it? But also, I just want to chuck in there's Hamzat Chimaev too, who's looking to step into the division. And then, of course, you also mentioned another name there. You said maybe Calvin Gastelum. So, yeah, on that same thread, what excites you most for Izzy Adesanya next?
I mean, I don't know how well that Chimaev fight goes for him. I actually want him to move up to middleweight because that means he doesn't have to fight Leon. Yeah. I think that genuinely at welterweight, that is the only fight.
You're just looking at pushing your problems to another division. Is that you?
Yeah. I think Leon.
Do you know what? That's exactly why I want Alex Pereira to go up as well. It's like, you don't want to give Izzy problems. I'm a big Izzy boy, Izzy fan. So, go to another division,
it's the same
please.
thing. He's massive for the welterweight, and he'll be normal at middleweight. And honestly, the Burns fight showed the holes, but honestly, I think that was more of a product of just poor game plan.
Yeah.
And underestimating how good Burns was.
Yeah.
I think he'll tighten up all those gaps pretty quickly if he goes up to the middleweight division, especially when you have to respect the power more as well.
Yeah.
That'd be a good matchup against Izzy. I don't know how that goes. I really don't.
You can step into a fight with either a good game plan and the right sort of tools and get the job done, or you can have no game plan, but just a sheer desire to win and the tools, and it just going out, create a fight, and also get it done. And I think that's what happened with Hamzat Chimaev against Burns. There was no real plan there. He just went in there to hurt him, and he just about got it through. But yeah, imagine what he looks like with a game plan. What he looks like with a strategy. What he looks like when he's paying a bit more attention and tying up those gaps. Like I say,
I'll tell you that. I mean, if he gets into the mat, it's over. Let's be honest. Izzy's just. I mean, I think he's a purple belt, which is no disrespect. It's very good in jiu-jitsu, but some of the against the guy. When you're in the UFC, of course, he knows that better than anyone. Everyone's the cream of the crop, right? So especially in like the top 5, top 10. So I on the mat, I think that's obviously everyone. I mean, that's common knowledge. It's Chimaev's world. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see it as a fan. I don't know if I could deal with watching it because it would just be too stressful. I don't know if I like Chimaev. He's turning a bit heel recently,
Yeah.
I think ever since that whole weight miss for the whole Diaz fiasco, slowly, I think he's lost fans. I really think he has.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think a lot of people would be rooting against him for that.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess just to wrap it up then with some final comments just on that co-main. I think so far you've had your sort of fight night. You like that Calvin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis. Yeah, we talked about the main event, of course, how exciting that was. We touched a bit on the prospect that is Raul Rosas and who came into the scene. But just quickly, Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. He's retired. Jorge Masvidal took the gloves off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Does he still fight maybe in another promotion? Or, he did say he's a millionaire. He doesn't have a need to. Maybe it's one of the Paul brothers.
That's what I was thinking. It's the MMA retirement home. It's the new place to go.
Yeah, we used to say two minutes or, but now it's like,
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think out of just, I've never really been a particular fan of him, I guess. I mean, obviously, I think everyone had a thing, an affinity with him, and when he just had that crazy 2019. But I think, it was the right time. He's 39. He did look like a shell of himself, really.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
It was clear. I think Burns just had the edge on the first round. Was close. I will give him credit, but I think Burns edged, especially with the takedown right at the end.
Yeah.
I think you could tell. I think you could tell it was his time.
Yeah, and Gilbert Burns he's showing new shades. Like the guy he's improving in every way, and seeing that stand up from him was really exciting. You're right.
Afro Burns.
There we go. Yeah. I think when fighters do that, I think Anthony Joshua did it at a time as well. It just shows that your appearance and how you look is second to your performance. You know, I can see what your priorities are.
Yeah, that was Ruiz. Second, it was the Ruiz rematch. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Came back with like the afro out. It's like, okay, what he's been focusing all this time. He's been focusing too hard on working out. He's not too much caring about his appearance, which that's where you want to put your money. But Absolutely. But yeah, man, honestly, Leo, it's been so good having you on board, man. It's been a great chat. We've talked about the card and some great opinions. Yeah. We'd love to have you again.
Always have to be. Yeah, of course.
That'd be cool.
Always down.
Cool. Well, guys, look, thanks so much for joining in. That was our fan cam segment. If you want to be on a fan cam, the email is in the link below. No, that's not right, is it? The email's in the description below. So you can click that, drop us an email, let us know about your interest, and we can arrange something and set that up. But that was Leo's thoughts on UFC 287. We'll have our editor on that and be able to sort of put together some content for you guys to read also, as well as watch it too later in the week. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, check out the ATF MMA website as well for more content and what's coming next. Thanks so much. And good night.